Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We are back. My voice sounds terrible. I've still got a nasty cough on me, but we are back. My voice has somewhat returned to a respectable degree, so people can actually make out what I'm saying. I've literally just popped in the strepsils to make sure that I don't start having a coughing fit on stream. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but who knows. But good to see everybody. Big up sick notes. Yeah, unfortunately, the doctor refused to write me a sick note for YouTube coverage, so unfortunately, I've got no compensation for that. Unfortunately, I have to make do, get myself up to fitness, up to scratch. But first and foremost, happy Halloween to everybody because it is the 31st of October. It's officially Halloween, and Mariah Carey is currently in the process of defrosting. She is now defrosting, so yeah. That song's going to start up real soon. But also to big up to Tony as well. Um, if I do mute the mic at random points, it's because I just need to have a cough, just to clear my throat a little bit. But yeah, have to bear with me, unfortunately. But we are back, and we are going to talk about the current sorry state of affairs that is Manchester United at the moment, and it's not looking too good. Not looking too good. A lot of media, a lot of people, channel content creators, you name it. Everybody is sort of now coming onto the same bandwagon a little bit here. Everyone's looking at the situation of Manchester United and thinking, I know how to fix it. Let's sack the manager. And a part of me is just like to gauge a perspective on the situation at the moment. Um, it's like the manager at the moment doesn't seem to be getting many things right. He looks like he's definitely struggling. Um, this illness was coincidentally at the same time as the drubbing by City. Funnily enough, it was. I've literally been off for about a week. It's 6 days since my last upload, which was the match reaction to Copenhagen, which was ironically the day I started to feel under the weather. No conspiracy theory. So, wow. I mean, I wouldn't. Let's be honest. I wouldn't be the first United fan to duck for cover and disappear off the grid after getting a battering. I wouldn't be the first person to do that if that was the intention. Unfortunately, it wasn't. It's just I literally didn't have a voice at the time that the City game happened. But you know, it's one of those nasties that life has to deal out to you. But don't worry, we might get another drubbing tomorrow night against Newcastle. They've already scored 8 goals away from home in one single 90-minute match. What's stopping them from doing it again? Now, Man City, boy oh boy, Man City, they could have had a whole heck of a lot more goals than what they had. 3-0, perhaps, maybe, was a scoreline that flattered us. They not only flattened us, but the scoreline flattered us. So, I've got to be honest, like, I've got no positive inkling of this game tomorrow night against Newcastle. I've got no positive inkling about it. Some great saves in the game on Sunday, I will say that. Anana, to be fair, Anana, I said, no, Anana he's finally arrived. I joked that Anana's finally arrived after the Copenhagen game and saving that last minute, penalty. To be fair, he sort of carried on somewhat of a convincing goalkeeping performance against City, despite conceding 3 goals. Haaland should have buried more chances. Other players in that City squad should have buried more chances. It's just one of those things. But Andre Onana, do you know what? I've had a little think about this. Someone else, I think, brought this to light, and it's ironic, but it's actually somewhat true. The best performing player at the moment in this Manchester United team is Andre Onana, right? The best performing player in this team. Yet the most controversially sought after player that the rivals keep taking the mickey out of in the Manchester United team is Andre Onana. So the biggest fraud, biggest ghost, the biggest, you know, mistake merchant, if we want to call him that, in Andre Onana is ironically, currently, as it stands, the best performing player at the moment in a Manchester United shirt, which is absolutely mental. Gotta be honest, when I first saw that team sheet come out, I was like, nah, nah. I mean, I was literally about to go in for a hospital appointment. And I saw the starting lineup on the Sunday. I was like, nah, we're not winning. We are not winning. I look at that team once. I'm like, we'll be lucky to keep it. Yeah, it'll be a positive to keep the goals to a single digit number for Manchester City. I've got like it just had it written all over. Two will want this big time. They will. They will. They smell blood. They will smell blood. Undeniably smell blood. You lot do turn up for this cup though. Be an interesting one. Will we though? That to me is going to be the big question, because it might be a competition, like a side competition, where sometimes teams will do better in one competition, but then in the Premier League, it's like West Ham syndrome or something. Like great in Conference League, but then crap in the league, and it's like, which would you prefer going for? At the end of the day, West Ham steered clear of trouble in the league, but they also got a trophy at the end of it. So if we are going to perform and actually turn up in this cup competition, to be honest, if we actually put in a solid performance and actually do well on maybe a rotation basis, maybe there's something to hold on to there. Now, that's, those sorts of things are a little bit hard to come by at the moment for United. Things to hold on to look at and say, yeah, no, that's great, that's good, that's what we want to see. Crystal Palace result still remains at this point by far the best performance we've had. Not one performance has come close to that. Not one. And I think I've said for a while now, like the players that played in that team should be looked into at starting more games, but more importantly, more games together. Because the favourites, the first team favourites, they're not doing the business on the pitch. Now, there's a lot of blame game going around at the moment. Pointing fingers say, you're the problem. You, the one problem at this club is you. We've got people saying, well, let's blame the manager. It's just the manager's fault. Got people saying, blame the players, blame Bruno, blame captain. It's all his fault. Blame Maguire. It's all his fault. Blame Onana. All his fault. Blame Rasmus Højlund. All his fault. Blame all the signings that Ten Hag has made. They're all crap signings. All of that stuff. But it's like with the root cause of everything. When you ask questions, why do things happen? You look towards where the root cause comes from. And for me, the root cause always trails back to the ownership. It was like I thought up of an analogy about this club and its operations, that it's got no sense of direction, which I will just delve into in just a sec. Geordie, good to see you, mate. Hope you're doing well. I'm sure you're probably feeling quite confident for tomorrow night, Geordie, because let's be real, you're the much more informed team going into this fixture, and you're probably going to be excited. Your away fans are probably going to be absolutely pumped for this. I'm sure you guys would absolutely love taking an away day to Old Trafford and getting a good result. I've got no reason to be confident for us to actually get a job done tomorrow night. So, Eric 10 hours left. Yeah, maybe. I mean, of course, the fan base. I mean, I've seen it already on YouTube that there's literally now a dedicated show. There's literally a dedicated show to Ten Hag out. The dedicated show for that incited action. I'm not going to comment. I'm not going to comment on that. We didn't turn up straight away. The mighty Burnley knocked us out. Yeah, that was a bit unfortunate. Unfortunate, and I think you then played them again like a game or two later and ended up getting a draw against them or something. Can't remember if you got a draw. I think it was a draw. They beat you 1-0 in the cup. You got a draw against them in the league straight after. Fully excited to take revenge of last season's final, mate. By the way, all the best to you guys. Thank you. I'm sure you'll absolutely be looking forward to this. Like the gloves are off, right? The gloves are off for Newcastle. They're waiting for this. They've been waiting for this. It's like you beat us in the final of this competition last year. That would have broken a very, very long trophy drought. Now we're going to deprive you of retaining it. That's probably what the message in the Newcastle camp is. As long as you don't start putting up numbers in your dressing room, in your away dressing room, as to how many years it's been since you last won a trophy, as long as you don't do that, then you should be fine. Yeah, 2 wants it, and that's revenge factor. There is. There absolutely is. Getting how are you? Mama Flossie, good afternoon to you. Hope you're doing well. All good. How's yourself? We're all doing good. Got some of the regulars back in the house. Lovely to see everybody. Once again, my apologies for my absence. As you probably heard once or twice already, had a bad cough, which has sort of deprived me of a talking voice. And I'll tell you what, I've worked 2 shifts, or through 3 shifts of work since I've been ill with this cough. It is a nightmare. And it's a retail job that I work, so I've had to do a lot of talking to a lot of people. And my God, when like it was worse back then, because it's like every time you talk, you get this urge to need to like have a coughing fit. So you got to try and do that on shop floor without having a coughing fit and look like you're dying. It's it's difficult. It's all difficult. We are coming for you, Fuzzy. I'm sure you are. I'm definitely sure you are. Are you all better now, Fuzzy? Not quite. Not quite. Still on the road to getting better, but well enough to make a return to this platform. And I also feel like I want to do a double stream today, not on YouTube because it's Halloween. I'm thinking on my Twitch channel I might do a gaming stream on there because I have not streamed on my Twitch for the longest time, and I fancy doing a bit of ghost hunting on Phasmophobia game on my Twitch. So I'll probably end up doing that later on tonight. A nice Halloween night ghostly stream. Enjoy a bit of ghost hunting on there, which everybody's more than welcome to join. I don't know if I might have to include my my Twitch channel in a pinned comment, just so people will know where to find me if people are interested in that sort of thing. But yes, getting better, Mama Flossie. Plus, everyone thinking you are patient zero when they see you're ill. I'll tell you what, I might be patient zero for what's going on in this household. I might be patient zero because my mother's now come down with something, not exactly the same as what I have, but something along the same lines. So yeah, I might actually be patient zero in this house. We should have done a Halloween stream. We should have done this. That's what should have happened today. You should have done the ghost story stream tonight. Today, Halloween. Now's the occasion. 'Tis the season to share your ghostly stories. Now would be the perfect time to do it. Today is before Mariah Carey starts defrosting and she starts gracing everybody's presence with this Christmas single. Yeah, I'm dreading the day when that starts booting up on the sound system at work now. I'm dreading it. Absolutely dreading it. But do you know what? Once I'm fully better, I'm sure I wouldn't care so much. I'll be a bit more festive when we get people actually celebrate Halloween outside of America. Well, used to celebrate Halloween, but I guess it's just more of one of those like internet trend things now. Like, no, there's not really many people that celebrate it that much in this hour. Do it at witching hour, get the Ouija board and stream. I don't have a Ouija board, unfortunately. I say unfortunately. I probably should say fortunately I don't have one, because now my house isn't haunted by hundreds of ghosts. So I guess that's a positive. Better fan Ed Sheeran. Mm. Drink the rest of my tea and then I've got that. Got that to keep me occupied. Keep my throat moisturized so I don't end up drying out too quickly. But yeah, man, Manchester United. As I've said there, the blame game is completely underway. There's one quick thing that I do need to say about the whole blame game thing, right? And pundits are out in full force. The media's out in full force. Fan channels are. Everybody's out. Everybody's out in full force playing the blame game. Who is it that takes responsibility for this? Even rival fans are asking this question. Who is to blame for this? And the blame game, the easy thing to do is, let's blame the manager because he sets up the team, right? He picks the players, right? And whilst, compelling arguments that they may be to say, well, it's Ten Hag's fault he keeps starting Rashford. It is. It's Ten Hag's fault he keeps playing Maguire, a player he wanted to get rid of in the summer. That's right. That's true. Playing players out of position. Lindelof playing at left back when he's not really a left back. Then again, we say that. I mean, Lindelof at left back is probably because we haven't really got a fully fit left back at the moment. So we're having to compensate there. So maybe injuries is one factor, but various other decisions. Garnacho not playing for some reason. Every time he has played, he's played better on the left wing than Rashford has. Bruno Fernandes constantly being played. You go out to right wing, mate. You should be playing centrally, but we'll play you on the right wing instead. And what we won't do is then play a winger out on the right-hand side. We've got Pellistri, we've got Anthony, we've got various options of wingers that play on the wing. But we're going to play a midfielder out there to compensate for more midfielders in the team, but we're not going to play the formation that would accommodate that. A more like a 4-1-2-1-2 type formation where it's like a diamond midfield. We don't try that. We try to exploit width by moving midfielders out wide, and I don't understand that concept. I don't really understand why Ten Hag thinks that there's something in that. It worked once or twice last season, and that's just about it. That's pretty much it. We never really got to see that system, or the idea of Bruno being a wider creative player, work more than a couple of times. So the fact is that it's not worked more times than it has. It's like Mikel Arteta deciding to play Thomas Partey at right back because, well, he played a couple times there for Atletico Madrid, so I might as well try and play him at Arsenal at right back. Doesn't really make much sense to me. So yeah, not too great with that side of things. Mason Mount is more and more and more, and this thing needs to get highlighted here. This summer was Mason Mount the priority player to sign, right? Mason Mount or bust, right? Ten Hag signed a player that I don't think really anybody expected him to sign or felt like it was necessary to sign. To be honest, I don't think there was really much purpose with signing someone like Mason Mount, because a number 8, we don't really need a number 8. We needed more number 6s more than anything. £55 million for a player that, started originally. Balance of midfield wasn't quite right. He got injured, came back from injury. Since then, has not really played any minutes and has been left as an unused substitution for several games now. And for me, that's majorly concerning. Majorly concerning because it's almost like Ten Hag signed this guy as the priority signing, but is not providing him the minutes to actually facilitate what he signed him for. Unless he has something in mind about having someone with more energy and more legs. We were comparing Mount to Ericsson before we signed him. It's like, but who would start there? Would it be Mason Mount? Would it be Ericsson? We already knew that Ericsson in the midfield, if Casemiro was a partner there, didn't really have the balance it needed to. So Mason Mount would surely be the same story. That was my concern, and was the concern of quite a few other fans of Manchester United. Where was the balance going to come from? Where was the balance going to come from? Amrabat was someone that we felt was necessary because a defensive-minded midfielder, just to be able to shore things up in the midfield with Casemiro, would provide us with a stronger spine so we have these away games like a Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, Arsenal, or for now Tottenham as well, where we don't get left completely just overexposed. Like, we've got a bit of compensation in that midfield to cover us if if things go to pot. But we've not really seen a consistent run of games, with the Casemiro Amrabat partnership, or to playing with a stronger spine. We've looked, I think we've looked just all around worse, and something is not ticking. And now, obviously, because the wheels of motion have started turning, the clock has started ticking, and now media reports they're having field days at the moment, absolute field days with Ten Hag situation, saying that the pressure's on him now. To be fair, I believe, pressure is on him. There is one part to this Ten Hag out thing that for me is like, everybody knows that I don't see the point in sacking a manager when the cycle's not going to be broken. We will be back here again in 2 to 3 years and, chopping and changing all sorts of things. It's, we're never going to really see the light at the end of the tunnel. And that, to me, that's my biggest concern. Now, as far as financials around it, it's interesting because the club are very profoundly pushed forward the narrative that we haven't got any money, like we're kind of broke right now. Henceforth the signings of loaning players with the obligations to buy in the next release of funds, which is a year from now. And I suppose with debts and everything, and with the reports about the financials of Manchester United are quite damning. The verdict is damning, and I posted this in a group chat about the situation on the financials, and it's not looking good at all. We made record revenue, right? Most amount of revenue that we have ever made in this club's history. There's one problem, is that with record revenue streams, never been making more money than what we are today. You think, well, what's the problem? Glazers can't be the problem then, can they? Because look at the amount of incoming money that there is. So surely dividends, there's no problem there, right? The Glazers aren't the problem. The Glazers aren't, they don't cause troubles. The net profit slash loss on those financial reports recorded us being in the minus. So we made record revenue streams, but our data sheet showed us in minus 30 million, thereabouts. Like we were that far into the negatives. The numbers were red. So the fact that we are breaking records on one half of things as for the right reasons, the net profit slash loss reads as a negative. So that's another even bigger negative to outweigh that of the positives. And maybe when people speak about Manchester United being financially screwed, they might have a point. They might legitimately have a point here. And I think we're going to have to be careful on looking into this, just to really see, what the facts are. But based off of what I've read and what I've heard, that the financials, we are in much bigger trouble. Now everyone's saying, look, the finances are bad, really bad, but we're not in settings for bankruptcy or closing our doors because there'd just be no money left. The problem is that we're not there yet. We might not be there for a while, but the direction, it's all about direction here. We're going that direction. And the fact that we're heading that way and alarm bells aren't ringing, that's concerning to me. Because it's like the saying, sometimes you just don't know what it is you have until it's gone. Manchester United start recording losses after record revenue streams, or despite record revenue streams. Maybe that loss numbers, the loss figures, you've got to bring that down. You've got to bring the loss numbers down. Forget lowering the spending. You've got to bring the losses down. Like, forget the incomings as well, right? Record revenues, all of that, cool, good stuff. But the interest of your product, your club, your asset, right? Speaking to the Glazers here, the value of your asset and the interest of your asset has diminished. It is diminishing despite hitting record revenues because the value of deals you're doing are increasing compared to previous deals. Problem is that the interest overall is now starting to wane a little bit. But your losses are catching up, but not only have they caught up, they're overtaking you. Wage budgets are just one of many aspects of Manchester United being in the bog. Only really going to see when Ten Hag gets everything he wants, but will he? Well, that's the thing. He never has. He had one or two, but he's never really had the full backing. And now there's a lot of dirty laundry that's coming out about how it is that the club has gone around doing business. That, the way the club has gone about signing players has been to do with what club appeals to the financial outputs, what appeals to the brand, the imaging. That's what it was very clear. Well, that's what it very clearly used to be. Whether it was still the case now, supposedly somebody from an inside source, I don't know if this is true or not. Supposedly someone said along the lines of, this club is signed, or the players that are signed for the club, not the manager. When in reality it should be players signed for the manager, but you stick with that. But you get rid of the players that the manager doesn't want. Don't keep the players that the club wants. Get rid of the players that the manager wants. Keep the players the manager wants, because that's the whole point. That's why Maguire, that people, talking about players, there's nothing wrong with the players. Sorry, but you were using this same argument when Mourinho was in charge. The same argument for Ranić, for Ollie. The same players, Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire was here when, not Mourinho, when Ollie was here. Obviously, let him down. And Ranić was here. They let him down. Now, as another player, not good enough for Manchester United, letting Ten Hag down. But this is the thing. It's the club's problem. The manager can literally tell people, you, jump off a bridge. Usually the club should go, okay, we'll jump off the bridge, and they go, do it. Obviously, not to insinuate, death here. Let's say they're tied up with a bungee string. So they're tied up with a bungee string, and the manager goes, jump off the bridge now. And they go and do it. That's what should happen. That's the sort of working relationship. Post-match comments from Pep Guardiola insinuates this. When asked why are Man City so successful, he goes out and says, well, me, my sporting directors, technical directors, CEO, all the staff are on the same page. We know what we want. We want it together. We push forward in the same direction. The club politics are coming to light. That's not what Manchester United do. This is not what Manchester United do. Manchester United do the board's operations do what they do with their own best interests, not for what the manager wants. That's not priority number one for them. That is just maybe dependent on if the player they think the manager wants is like, okay, yeah, no, I can see why the manager wants him. Okay, then we'll sign him. And we saw that same sort of lack of belief when Mourinho was here. Mourinho wanted certain players signed. Because people say, well, Erik Ten Hag's talent ID is in the mud. Well, if you're saying, well, the board's not signing Ten Hag players because they don't back them, they don't think they're good enough, then, to be completely honest, we had the same problem under Mourinho. If 10 quid gets the team he wants, no more excuses. That's all I want. Yeti. That's literally all I want. Bear me 1 second, guys. Yeah, you have to excuse me if I have to mute myself there. I have to get my throat cleared up a little bit. How is a bang average player like Lindelof still at United? And McTominay and Maguire and Johnny Evans. Why is Johnny Evans back? Nobody knows. Nobody knows whatsoever. And Mount, I'm starting to see a pattern emerging here. Do you know what? Mount had bad form at Chelsea. To me, Mason Mount is a concerning one because that's a Ten Hag signing. Very, very recent, but he was a priority signing. Like that was priority number one of the summer. But he's not giving him the minutes that you need to see the best come out of Mason Mount. So anybody's guess, answers on the postcard there. Martinez, Amrabat, Casemiro, Højlund, the only bright spots, and maybe Onana. Various players that perhaps do have a future, but many, many more that don't. That's kind of unfortunately the balance that we're sort of set with at the moment. Delo maybe, and the rest need a bidding, to be honest. Yeah, pretty much. Only problem I have with Ten Hag is he's a Glazer puppet. Also, why Weghorst and Mount? Bad choices there. Well, if familiarity is one thing, at the same time, I look at it, but it's like it's like the club politics is what saves most amount of money. If Ten Hag wanted a different player to Weghorst in January transfer window, he probably did tell them, well, I want this player. And so he got told, well, no, we can't afford him. We need a loan deal. Right, so that shrinks my market from here to here. And Weghorst was in that small little margin. Um, I used to think Levy was worse than the Glazers. No, I was wrong. At least our club isn't in a fuck ton of debt. Hmm. Hopefully it's past now. But yeah. Luckily Spurs hasn't got tons and tons of debt, and more importantly, they haven't got hundreds of millions of pounds worth of owed transfer fees that they've still yet to pay off. Manchester United still need to pay off loads and loads of transfer fees for past players. That's another debt or contributing figure to the debts we already have. I think you're financially screwed because it's being kept by the top brass and not given to the team. Yeah. Yeah, kudos massive debt, but Glazers still keep taking dividends. Well, thankfully, the Glazers have stopped taking dividends, but the fact that they've stopped taking dividends is because they don't have any money to take the dividends out. There isn't the money available for them to do that. So, kind of, it's like they've kind of shot themselves in the foot with that, making Levy look like a god. Wow. Who's got reinforced in January? Do you think you will? Carl Rossi, good to see you, mate. It's been a long time. I think I've scared half the people off with my terrible cough. That is still lingering, so yeah, I probably won't have to be able to go on for too much longer. Otherwise, my voice will give out. Because the first time I thought I'd try this, I thought I'd try doing this stream because it's been quite a while since I've last uploaded. I thought I'd test the waters a bit, see if I can see how long I can go for, basically. Um, real ones. Good to see the regulars. Um, you don't need strikers anyway, Fuzz. Their job isn't to score goals anymore. So I've heard. I don't know where that quote's come from because I've seen other people talking about it. I don't know where that's come from, to be honest. I don't know who said that. Whoever did say it needs to be silenced. We need to silence them quick. They probably just stopped the press reporting when they take dividends. Well, apparently they didn't do I think for this stage of the Carabao Cup, you don't have to do press reports or media briefings, and I think club then chose not to do the media, not to do the briefing. So maybe they just wanted a break from things. Big T, he's alive. Only just though, only just. Yeah, very, very somewhat coping. Yeah, a little bit. Trying to go on for as long as I can here. But good to see you, Big T. Hope you're doing all right. Oh, did I? I did silence them. Yeah, man. Mate. It's like It's almost delusional. Like the Spurs fans that say that they're winning the league. I swear, I can't remember, I think it was on the football terrace. There's one Spurs fan that was literally going, barking mad. Literally going on about, like, we are the favourites to win the league. I'm like, huh? Oh, we're going to win the league. Son, you were in crisis under Conte, and half of your board were found out as criminals. And now, barely 6 months later, you're apparently now the favourites. You've gone. So Man City here, every other team in between, Tottenham down here. You've suddenly gone from that to that in a couple of months. A turnaround we have never seen before, people. We've never seen a turnaround like that before in the history of football. Yeah. But yeah. So basically, finance is screwed for the club. So for me, it becomes a little bit, just a little bit irrelevant to be talking about, managerial sackings, because I mean the finance side of things for sacking a manager, and it does make a lot of sense, because if you sack Ten Hag, you've got to pay off a big compensation, right? Severance pay, which we've already seen this summer. The club did not want to pay severance package to Harry Maguire. They already refused to do it for a player. They probably wouldn't sack him because of finances. They can't afford to sack the manager, right? And this is the thing, you sack the manager, that's money going out the door. Costs you money to hire the next manager. Costs you money to hire their staff. And then 200 million, 300 million on the transfer window to sign their players. So, yeah. So make of that what you will. Where's the money going to come from to do that? To, replace the manager and get the new era, the new process started from scratch. I hope they don't forget to buy a trophy tour bus. I bet they don't have one, never needing one. Wow. I think their trophy cabinets, you could probably sell their trophy cabinet as an antique because it's so old. But you'd need to clean it up first because of all the dust and the cobwebs in there. Spurs might need to go buy that trophy cabinet back they sold to make space for more toilets. Not the extensions on their futuristic bar, right? The ones which fills your cups of beer from the bottoms up. They need more space for those. More drunk Spurs fans. The more drunk Spurs fans, the better. At least that's Levy's policy, because if they're all drunk and he shorthands Tottenham Hotspur yet again, at least everyone's too drunk to really complain. So, I suppose I should give a little bit of light to the Newcastle game tomorrow night. Big fixture, very, very big fixture. A very important fixture, but very, very tough. We've got our work cut out for us tomorrow night. And by absolutely no means am I looking forward to it. No chance at all. Newcastle, it's like we've discussed already. Look, there's probably an essence of revenge. They want to knock us out of this cup 100%. I think there's incentive for Newcastle. Whereas for United, the problem I have is that because everyone's sort of talking about, the managers on the ropes, the squad aren't sure, players aren't sure, everyone's in, you know, mixed minds, two minds about things. Um, what is the mood for Manchester United? And are we in the right headspace to play against Newcastle? For me, I don't believe we are. I don't believe we are. I think we are in, a big spot of bother, massive spot of bother. Um, and Newcastle, I think for them it's a bit more of a routine away day, whereas for us we've got a big mountain to climb ahead of us. After 2 drawing with Wolves, I think they want to springboard from this game. They want to. I know definitely that with the direction of the club, it's all about constantly moving onwards and upwards for them. So I don't disagree. I believe that um, there is an incentive there. Obviously revenge is one thing, but the incentive is Manchester United are a wounded animal at the moment. So you might as well go all the way. Try and um, you know impose your will and inflict as much damage as possible. Um, I think it would be a good game, though. To be honest, two teams would want it. That's the thing. That's where I guess my question about my team is: do we want it? How bad do we want it? Um, because for me, as much as there is the incentive, it's one of these trophies you can win on the side because obviously your achievements in the league are going to be nigh on impossible. And Champions League are probably going to be impossible. So for you, Carabao Cup or FA Cup. Problem is that the state of the club, the state of the team, state of the players at the moment, there's nothing really to root to say, well, it might not be quite clicking in the Premier League, but we can go for this in the Carabao Cup, the side tournaments. Um, to be honest, and for me, it's just like there's so much, up in the air about uncertainty about Manchester United. It's so difficult to say that a team that might have some strong motivation to properly beat us, why should we look at this game and say, oh yeah, we're definitely going to beat those? Because we don't feel like we're up for it competitively at the moment. Manchester Derby was, a big teller for that. Like we didn't look that competitive. Some bad decision making at the start of the game where if we actually make some good choices, we probably actually get some early goals. We catch Manchester City cold, but one thing leads to another. Confusion sets in, a loss of direction, a loss of understanding. Then then you start going through the motions. It's just one of those that I just don't see where in this game, where is it Manchester United beat Newcastle? Where does the Manchester United victory come from in this fixture from the way that it is being set up at the moment? Our players aren't in the right headspace to get out of bed, never mind play football. Well, they aren't in the headspace to get into bed, I'll tell you that much. I mean, Marcus Rashford, albeit he celebrates his birthday party, man stayed out partying until 3 a.m. just after getting piped by Manchester City. Literally, very next night. Party, yeah, 3 a.m., 3 a.m., 3 a.m. Who's staying up until 3 a.m. as a professional footballer in a tightly scheduled, season? Why aren't you focusing on keeping yourself as fit as you possibly can? When there's time, right, you can get your birthday celebrations set aside. That's all good. Not when you're in the trenches, my friend. Please. Not when you're in the trenches. Just a bit more of please read the room, right? Now, just pick, like, I'm not saying Marcus Rashford should not celebrate his birthday. Please just pick a better time. Not at 3 freaking a.m. after losing to Manchester City. Man, with your schedule and how, you know, players dropping like flies with injuries to do with workload. And you're out here, you know, potentially making things worse for yourself. So, but is what it is. At the end of the day, don't forget to hit the likes, people. Yes, please do hit the likes. It's been a long while since I've last streamed on here or done a video, and obviously smashing the likes would make me feel a whole lot better. Also, just as a second follow-up as well, I'll look to try and do a gaming stream later on tonight because it's Halloween. Why not? Do a ghost hunting game, Phasmophobia, on my Twitch channel later on tonight. Probably do it as like a 9 or 8:30 or a 9 p.m. Sort of start time with that. So yeah, we'll have to see how things go. You want to retain, I imagine. I know the fans would want to retain. Retain this trophy. Just have something to take away. Because if the season's bad, at least we've got something to take away from the season to say, well, we've had a positive. But by the looks of it, we've got a lot of work to put in to get there. And I've got to be honest, I don't see much going in our favour to give us the best chance of retaining that trophy, because we've got a firing Newcastle team to get past first. It's worse than wounded. We're on the taxidermy table. Yeah, pretty much. I'm trying to think of what the word of the place is. The mortuary. We're on the table in the mortuary. That's where we are at the moment. It would be a glimmer in a poor time. It would. If you are not for trying to retain this cup, you may as well just quit and give up. Well, that's the thing. Is with football matches, competitive football matches, everybody should want to win every single game they go into. But you see the reflection of how players play. Like if they don't play 100%, or they're not giving everything, and we see that as a common theme for Manchester United players, where they don't give 100%. And it's like, but what do you do this for then? What do you do this for? It doesn't make any sense. Like, you should want so badly to just pile it onto Newcastle and say, well, look, we beat you in the final of Carabao Cup last year, we'll beat you again. I can guarantee you not one person in that Manchester United dressing room or in that squad, in that training ground, or anywhere in the coaching staff are saying that. And the fact that they're not saying that, or not believing in themselves to do that sort of a job, tells you everything you need to know. It's like, what are you doing this for then? Because the incentive is to win, right? That's what you're here to do. You're here to compete and win your matches and win the trophies at the end of the season. That's part and parcel to competitive football. Now, if you don't want to win, games of football, then you might as well be put on a free agents list. You don't deserve to play football. But they're millionaires. They don't care. Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, to be honest, players really, really don't care. Those that have the monstrous contracts with all the money and all the fame, the adulation, the exposure, the brands, all of this stuff. all of his stuff. It's all part of temptation in leading players astray, leading them away from God. No, but it's changing their focus, right? It's taking them from putting football as your life first. Instead, it's like another example is like Garnacho, right? An impressionable kid. He wants to leave everything on the pitch. I believe that he wants to leave everything on the pitch, but you can just tell the way that his social media goes, right? The way in which he's got people taking photos of him out and about doing things, like going places. Oh, look, this is what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing here. It's like it's all for show, isn't it? It is all for show. With Pratt New Age fans saying a striker don't have to score, it's no wonder they don't care. Well, again, I'm going to have to try and find out who it was that said that it's not the striker's job to score goals. I do have to go and find out who said that, because I'll just sit there and I'll just listen to them. I'll just listen to them and I'll just think, right, first and foremost, who's your dealer? Because surely with stuff that strong, that shit shouldn't be legal. Second off, why are you insistent on banging your head on walls before you jump on anywhere to share your viewpoints? Like it doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't make any sense. It was a guy on Anthony Herbert's stream. Oh, was that when you linked it in the group chat? When you linked it in the group chat, was it a comment or was it someone that was actually on the stream? That you actually linked it in the group chat, because I'm pretty sure you linked that stream. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I'll have to go listen to that, because I don't understand why anybody would make that sort of a comment. Do you agree Bruno should be stripped of the captaincy? An interesting question. An interesting question. The difficulty is that there's not many leaders, right, that lead by example. We see personalities and characters, right? But one thing, and I think Ben Foster said it as well, that your captains, you want to lead by example, right? That they're usually the guy that's giving the most on that pitch, and the teammates have the most admiration for him. But it doesn't feel like Bruno has, the teammate admiration. Like the teammates don't admire him for putting in 110%, because it doesn't look like he is the best performing player on the pitch by any stretch. So maybe there is, question marks about Bruno's captaincy that is coming more and more to light. Where, I know that pundits have always not liked Bruno as captain because of the arm flinging and stuff, but Ben Foster said that from a captain's perspective, or from someone who is a player, when you have a captain teammate, the last thing you want to see as a player is to see, this player flinging his arms and pointing fingers and just like, oh, yeah, oh, what are you doing? Oh, like cutting frustrated figures, because it's meant to be a unification project for the captaincies. It's meant to be bringing players together on the same page and getting everyone believing in the same project, firing people up. But Bruno Fernandes, one thing he does is he's over emotional, but he's causing, by the looks of it, issues for his teammates by individual basis. He's causing problems. He's causing frustration. Maybe the mood on the pitch isn't quite the same. Maybe that's something to do with the reason as to why, when Bruno was dropped against Crystal Palace, right, and Rashford was dropped, and we had other players that were not performing dropped against Crystal Palace in the EFL Cup last round, we saw the best performance that I'd seen Man United play since March from last season. Like, that's a while ago. There's a lot of football matches have been played since then, right? Or since March. So for me, maybe there is truth to that the Bruno captaincy might be causing a little bit of turmoil on the inside. Maybe there is. Maybe there is, Bruno ruffles feathers amongst his teammates. Maybe there is truth to that. But we'll have to see what, which direction club politics go. Chelsea fan, which makes it hilarious, because with a striker, they would be doing better. They would. 100%. Got a channel, I got a channel I called Bill Knows Ball. I think that should be called, it should be Talks Balls. Bill Talks Balls. If forwards don't need to score, we could have kept Weghorst. That's true. If we live in this guy's fantasy where a striker's job is not to score goals, Weghorst would still be employed at this club. He'd still be employed at this club. Let's make no mistake about it. Captain leads by example. Martinez is it, not Bruno. For me, followed by maybe Casemiro. And do you know what? I mean, Martinez, I like Martinez's personality and character. It would be a question of if he can actually step up into the captaincy role. And I think he could do it. He could do it. I think I would back Lisandro Martinez to taking a captaincy. I would back him to do that. Clues in the name, striker. Yeah. Or maybe that's just it. According to this guy, the striker is not the guy who finishes the chances. The striker is the person who takes most amount of time off of playing football because he's busy striking. He's walking around whilst his teammates are playing on the pitch. He's outside doing laps around the stadium, holding up banners. Just stop oil. Just stop. Can you imagine that? Striker on the pitch. Man, it's crazy. Crazy stuff. But I'll give a quick prediction and I'll wrap things up. I will probably have to continue this chat about Manchester United Football Club because there's so much to go into about this. Like, it's literally a can of worms. Like, conspiracy theories, unite and come together as one. There's so much to go into. But but yeah, I'm gonna give a quick score prediction for this Newcastle game. Now, being at home, if this was last season I'm talking about, I'll back my team to win. Manchester United at home or away does not matter. We don't look like we have the belief, the togetherness, the fight to properly beat testing teams. And Newcastle is tried and tested. And they will look to come and they will come for gold. They will come for gold. And do you know what? I don't see any reason for Manchester United to get anything out of this game. I believe that Newcastle, 2-0. I believe 2-0 Newcastle. I don't have the belief in my team to find the belief to step up against Newcastle because tough opponent. Tough opponent's a tough opponent. But you've got to show levels. And you don't have levels. But at the same time you don't have the guts to go for glory. You don't have the guts to do it. Newcastle will want to show the guts to go for glory. And that's going to be the biggest decisive feat about this game. I'd make McTominay captain. He has heart, hunger, desire, and is putting our forwards to shame of late. He needs to stay away from our box, though. To be honest, the guy scores 2 goals against Brentford. Scores 1 against Sheffield United, and then sort of starts to show a bit of a liability's edge. And that's the annoying thing about Scott McTominay, is that for as good as he might show for glimpses, he then shows you everything as to why you shouldn't be a Manchester United player. And for me, it's just like Manchester United, we should aspire for better than that, like way, way better than that. So for me, it was McTominay was knighted after the Brentford game. I knighted him for the weekend and the international break, but man's rescinded that. Man has rescinded that. Striker iron the shirts and polish the boots. That's his new job. I don't see anything other than Newcastle win. Really agree. I just don't see how it is that Manchester United of today beats a Newcastle team that will probably be thinking, right, let's actually go for gold this season. Let's go for it. Let's go and get a trophy this season. Let's back ourselves to do it, because last season was a bit of vibes. Now it's a continuation to a project. Add a couple of little extra pieces. We can go and upset some apple carts here. Let's go and put ourselves in contention for a trophy. Why not? Away the lads. Away the lads. Team Mother Flossie. How confident are you, Mother Flossie, for this game? Because I'm sure you are absolutely buzzing for this. I'm sure there's probably next to, well, I say nerves. There's probably not many nerves. Nerves nonetheless, but you'll probably be backing your team quite extensively against us at the moment. I think it's 2-win, to be honest. It'll be a good game, though. I hope it's a good game. I hope it's a team that we put out, that puts in effort, that puts in fight, desire, effort, energy, and that we can be convinced that we've got players in this team that still want to give something for the shirt, for the badge on that shirt. And it's absolutely crazy, the situation we're in. And do you know what's even crazier? It's the fact that there are people out there now speaking volumes of, why are we mad? Why are we crazy about this? We are where we are. We're a mid-table team. So we've got fans saying, well, now we have to lower the standards of what's real for us. Like where we are, to acknowledging what we are, is that we are a mid-table team. There's so many things at different levels that are so far wrong and so far gone that, Surgeon Ratcliffe can promise all the things he wants to promise and employ all the people he wants to employ. How long is this going to take? This could be decades. It could be decades, right? No word of a lie. It could be decades with the right people in charge to steer this ship in the right direction. And that's kind of where we are at the moment. McTominay is great for going forward, shite defensively. He should play forward or number 10 and stay out of our box area. And do you know what? I'm pretty sure he played there in the derby. I think he played. I think what it was is we had a 4-2. I think it was like a 4-2-3-1 or something. And I think what we had in the midfield was Amrabat, Eriksson, McTominay in front of them, had Bruno out on the right, and then you had Rashford out on the left and then Hoyland up top. So I think we had McTominay pushed further forward to provide an extra goal threat, but I tell you what, the decision making from Scott McTominay cost a couple of good goal scoring opportunities early in the game. Yeah, that's the problem. McTominay might be good if he's got just one job to do, and that's strike the ball. So that's why usually he's great if he arrives late in the box, but contributing to the attack, got to make good decisions, got to make right decisions. And I don't know if he's got the ability to do that. So we'll have to see. But anyways, guys, I'm going to write things up there, people. Thank you very, very much for everybody that has tuned in, come in, stopped to say hello, and welcomed me back into the YouTube sphere, because obviously it has been a little bit of time that I've been suffering on the sidelines. And it's been lovely and fantastic to see everybody stopping by as well. Really appreciate all the love and support everybody has shown me. Thank you for sticking with me as well. And maybe gaming stream tonight. I'll have to see how it is. My voice is holding up, because I can feel it going right now. And big ups to everybody that has come in to say hello. Good to see you back. Thank you very much for tuning in, Big T. It's always a pleasure. Thanks, Fuzzy. Good to see you back. Thank you very well. Thank you very well. Thank you very much as well to you, Mama Flossie. Also, big ups to various other people. Longhaired Yeti, great to see you as well. Carl Rossi, absolute legend. Kudos as well. A grounded Spurs fan, you might say, with kudos. So kudos to kudos. Geordie as well, good to see you stopping by. And Tony Ibarra from early in the stream. So thank you very, very much to everybody for stopping by. Really appreciate all the love and support. And for anybody watching on playback, please do like the stream. Show me a bit of love, a little bit of extra love on the playbacks, and also subscribe if you haven't done so already. But yeah, if there is a gaming stream tonight, look out for it 8:30 to 9, between that sort of time frame, on my Twitch channel. I will link the Twitch channel in the pinned comment in the comment section below, just so that you'll know where to find me on Twitch if and when I do go live. But that is for later. We'll get a bit into the bit of the Halloween spirit, playing a bit of a ghost hunting game. So thank you very much to everybody for tuning in. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care, goodbye, and God bless. Ciao for now.